Hi, Yasmin. Hey, Lily.
Hello.
Feels like we just saw each other.
I think we did. I'm not sure.
All right.
Hello.
Yasmin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I wasn't able to hear you earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're here. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good, thank you. I started looking over
Good.
everybody's blogs today, and I'm going to get more done over the weekend. Was it you? No, I think it was Giselle. I'm going to ask Giselle if I can use her essay as an example for today. Did anybody have a chance yet to look at the AP 2020 page that I posted today?
No, I just saw it and I was gonna open it later in the day.
Okay, no problem. We're going to take a few minutes and go over that too. I'm going to give people a couple minutes to see if they can come online, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Yasmin,
Yeah.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
You know, as long as you're online together, do you guys have each other's contact information?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I've never quite sure if people are staying in touch with each other or not. And as long as you're here and you miss each other, I want to make sure that you had it. Okay, well, I make it a rule never to penalize the punctual. So let's go ahead and roll through some of this stuff. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the page on the course blog, first of all. Can you all see that now?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to roll through this really quickly, and then you can review it on your own and ask me if you have any questions. The first thing is the AP testing guide. And on the one hand, it looks like, oh my God, it's got 50 pages. But if you skim through it and just see what you need, it's not a heavy read, and you can see there's lots of pictures. Now, one of the things I do want to make sure you see is that it shows you how the exam is going to be administered and how it's going to look. And so it is important at least to skim this so that way, if you have any questions, you can let me know ahead of time and I can help you find the answers if I don't know them off the top of my head. So that's the study guide, or that's the guide to the exam. The second thing is an exam day checklist. And this is really super specific. In fact, this is the kind of thing where if you have a printer at home, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and print a copy of this and have it next to your computer or your tablet while you take the test or get ready to take the test. It's things like your 8-character AP ID, the name of your exam, and that way you don't have to think about that kind of stuff. You can just like have this as a reference guide and go through it. So that's that. The other thing is, as I mentioned last week, I'm going to prepare, I'm tempted to call it a cheat sheet, but it's not cheating because this is an open note exam. So I'm going to prepare a one-page guide that's a reference for you as you think about writing about your process and about things that you want to make sure to include so that, again, you're kind of following a recipe while you make the cake. The last things here, there's a series of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. Each one of these is not that long. In fact, why don't we take a look at the first one together?
This year, due to the coronavirus,
I'm going to pause that. Can you hear that okay when I play it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Be offering AP students a way to take their exams online so they can still earn college credit. The exams will be administered May 11th to the 2nd, with makeup exams in June. Each AP exam will be given at a specific time. Most exams will be 1 to 2 free response.
I'm kind of bored already, so let's take a look at the second one.
This video will walk you through the AP 2020 exams, important steps, and offer tips.
Ah, that's one that you should watch. And I got all these from Dr. Martinez today, and I put them all up right away, but we don't need to know that the exams are being given this way. That we already got. And there's only 23 seconds left in that video, so you can see it for yourself. 4.5 minutes. This one is another 1 minute. These are not long. So have a look at these. And again, if you have any questions, I'm here. Before I leave this screen, does anybody have anything that they want me to cue on, or that it's easier for them to see right now instead of going to the course blog on your own?
Where can we find like our number thing that we need?
Okay, have you been on the College Board website?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where.
Okay.
So if you go back on there and it's not immediately obvious where you can find that and how to look up your account and all of that, then send me an email. And what I'll do is I'll go through as best as I can on my end and do it with screenshots. Challenge is it's a little bit different for me than it looks for you because I don't go in as a student. I'm obviously a teacher instead. So, but that's where to find it, is on your College Board. And if you really struggle with it, then I'll mention that at the meeting I'm about to have after this one, just to make sure.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions before I leave the screen? Okay, so I'm going to come back, and now I'm going to go to, is Giselle with us yet?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, well, since she's not, I'm going to do this anyway. It's on her, this is on her blog, and she was one of very precious few people who took a stab at one of the rhetorical analysis prompts. Obviously, at this point, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but we're in May, it's official, so we only have about 3 weeks till the exam. The more practice, the merrier, and the end, like the last week before the exam, is going to be pure practice for us. So you can see the prompt here: pretend to contribute to a magazine or newspaper. Write an article describing a place you know well that might be of interest to readers. Define the significance and use descriptive detail to make attitude clear. Now, if you're like me, you probably go like right to the end and go, ooh, attitude. That means tone. I got that. Descriptive detail. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm going to include descriptive detail. But right from the beginning, there's something really important here. If I'm pretending to contribute to a magazine or a newspaper, who's my audience?
The public?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, right? Magazines aren't created equally. If I'm contributing to, say, I don't know, a magazine about food, that's probably going to be a different audience than a magazine about high school sports, for example. So this gives me an opportunity to really be clear about my audience. And if you think about it, do you remember the definition of tone?
An author's attitude towards like his subject or like what he's writing about, what they're writing about.
Yeah, you're 2/3 of the way there. The author's attitude toward the subject, the characters, which won't be an issue here, or the audience. So again, if I'm writing, for one of those doctors' waiting room magazines that 6 and 7-year-olds read, my attitude and my desire to communicate in ways that they understand is going to be very difficult than if it's a legal journal. So the first thing I would do is I would somewhere in the opening make a comment about how wonderful it is for readers of, I don't know, somebody name a magazine.
Time.
What's that one magazine that, I forgot, is it Times or something? It has like that red border around it.
Yeah, Time magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I might start with something like this. I'm going to indent here. To readers of Time magazine, Santa Maria High School might just be another anonymous campus behind chain link fences. Now already I've got descriptive detail, right? The chain link fences and the barrier between the public and this place. That also gives me an opportunity to really get into the description from the standpoint of someone who has an attitude about the school. Now, we could even do this charades or Mad Lib style. Somebody, I've never said this sentence before, but somebody give me an attitude.
I really don't like when you give us a lot of essays, Dr. Preston.
What?
Wait, did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wait, what do you mean like an attitude?
Wait, first of all, repeat that. You don't like it when I give you what?
A lot of essays, Dr. Preston.
Well, what kind of weirdo would you be to actually enjoy that? I get it. But actually, I didn't say give me attitude. I said give me an. That's funny. Give me an attitude, like
An attitude.
how, like a way that I might feel toward Santa Maria High School. It could be everything from affectionate, like Giselle's. It could be fussy, whatever.
I don't know.
Okay, well, should we just, how about this? Why don't we do this? Let's take a look at Giselle's. Take a moment and let's read this together. And let's see if we can determine, and I was really hoping she'd be here with us because she was on the 1 o'clock call. But let's see if we can determine what her attitude, what the author's attitude is toward the high school. There are many places in Santa Maria where a high school teenager can have fun. One of the many places is Santa Maria High School. Some may view this school as boring or ghetto, but in fact, usually those who say that have not joined a club or sport. This school is not all about studying or doing homework. It can actually be quite fun. Santa Maria High School is a place where you can grow as a person, build friendships, and experience being an energetic teenager. As someone who likes to observe what's going on around them, I have seen many people in this school transform into a better person after they joined a sport club or found something they really like to do in school. I have personally changed too after I joined a club, and I constantly have fun at school because I get to help out with certain things in school with my friends. How would you describe the author's attitude toward Santa Maria High School?
That it's a like great school. Like it actually changes people, and like I guess people who see it from the outside, they like misunderstand the school. I guess like they took it the wrong way.
Okay. So that's a good answer. Those are characteristics of the school, but we're really looking for the author's attitude toward the school. How would we think about Giselle's attitude toward the school? How would you describe that?
I'd say she's like affectionate or like thankful kind of for it, because she said like how like now at school, like when she joined, like it like she really enjoyed it and she really enjoyed making those connections with friends and like different people. So I feel like her tone to it, like it's very like affectionate or like thankful.
Yeah. The tone is really positive, right? I agree with you. And also, I think Lily made a good point that it's not the kind of thing that would necessarily reveal itself as obvious. I think Giselle's making the point that, in fact, in the beginning, she says a lot of people or some may view the school as boring or ghetto, quote unquote. But if you know where to look, it's very different and it reveals itself in a different way. So let's see if we can go back to the prompt for a moment. One of the important elements I want to point out is that this says place. So that actually makes it easier for me to include descriptive detail. If I'm focused on the physical elements of a geographic place, then I can focus on things like, for example, let's take her first part here where she says some may view the school as boring or ghetto. To readers of Time magazine, Santa Maria High School, oops, forgot school, might just be another anonymous campus behind chain link fences. To some students who attend the school, and actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make an abbreviation that says SMHS, so that way I don't have to type it out every time. SMHS is not anonymous. It is boring and even ghetto. All they see is the trash on the lawns or the graffiti on the walls. Sometimes you walk into class and someone's leftover breakfast garbage is on your desk. Now, when I say these things, every single element of that paragraph is a physical descriptive detail, right? But what I started off with, to some students who attend the school. So really now what I'm doing, I'm kind of leading the reader down the wrong path. I'm faking them out so I can get to my main point. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to follow Giselle's formula here. She set this up as, hey, you know what? This place is a mystery and it goes beyond the surface impression. But if you know where to look, Santa, actually, I'll go back to the abbreviation. SFS is really more like an onion with layers that reveal themselves as the layers that reveal themselves. The deeper you go, the sweeter it gets. Oh, look at that. I'm happy with that sentence. What do you think?
Yes.
Great. Now, somebody give me a suggestion, because I'm imagining, like Giselle was talking about clubs or sports. Is there a place on campus that not everyone may have seen that you think is special for those reasons? I know, Destiny, you're on the wrestling team. Other people have different, Lily, you're in the band. Are there little secret moments around hidden corners on campus where if only more people knew about them, they would go, ooh, yeah, that's a special place?
I feel like, I guess the band room, but the band room's like different. Like it's like mostly just your band people and like a couple friends that who are like just like band people, like they kind of relate to them, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I feel like people take that room as like, oh, it's like just boring, it's just band people, like, you know, weirdos and stuff. But like, I guess like it's just like taken like differently. I
Okay.
feel like people, if people like went in there and saw like the environment in there, they would like totally like think like way different than they did before.
Brilliant. So here's what I'd like to suggest, and I'll put this on the course blog along with today's meeting as well. What I'd like to ask you to do is take this beginning. I'm going to copy and paste it on the course blog, and I'm going to ask us to all use this as our beginning, what I've just written here, and follow Giselle's example and say, okay, but instead of just talking about the event or the organization that makes the place special or gives you a good feeling about it, I want us to focus on a particular location on campus and describe it in such a way. The only thing that's against the rules is saying how we feel about it. But I want us to describe that place on campus in such a way that our tone is unmistakable. Okay? And I'm not going to tell you which tone to have. If you have a place that's particularly like icky in your memory and that's the tone you want to have, awesome. But I think from this, if we're going to follow Giselle's example and have a positive tone, you can make a sweaty gym magical. You can make a instrument-filled equipment room a dreamscape. That's your mission. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Go right. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to jump on this call with the other AP teachers. If I learn anything else amazing, you will know because I will post that on the course blog too. And before we quit, does anybody have any questions or anything I should know?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You had said for our tone not to be mistaken. What do you mean by that?
I mean, the temptation is always to come out and tell people how you're feeling, right? So if I say, boy, I really do not like asparagus. Okay, that's like direct characterization, right? But if I describe asparagus, you know, I get that asparagus is healthy and I'm supposed to like asparagus. And then I just look at it and it's overcooked and saggy and I hold it up and it falls over. And then it's all stringy and annoying and it tastes bad. And I can't even get rid of the memory because later when I pee, it smells like asparagus. And now I'm giving you all these little, right, that TMI, right? But all that little stuff, those little details. By the time I get done describing that, Liz, is there any doubt about how I feel about asparagus?
No.
Okay, that's what I meant by unmistakable.
Oh, okay.
It's like straightforward.
Yeah,
And
but
yeah.
straightforward in a way that I don't come out and tell you. It's all the details themselves that reveal that.
Yeah.
All right, that's the trick. All right, gang, have fun with this. If you need anything, send me an email, and I'll be on the blog later, and then I'll catch up with you on Monday.
Have a good weekend.
Thank
All right.
you. Bye, you guys.
Bye, Dr. Preston. Bye, guys.